Hi, I'm Ashley Lambert, and today I am here to speak to you briefly about alimony. Now, I've received many questions regarding this topic, whether it's from do I qualify, or will the judge award me alimony, or do I have to pay alimony in the state of Arkansas? Well, I'm here to answer those questions in a sweet, short, simple way. Now, do know this, that alimony is contingent upon various factors, meaning that the judge will take many factors into consideration when it comes to the need to award alimony and whether or not an individual is responsible for paying alimony. So let's jump right into it. There are three types of alimony in the state of Arkansas. One being temporary alimony. There's permanent alimony, and then there's rehabilitative alimony. Temporary alimony is awarded during the divorce proceedings. Once the divorce proceedings are over, that temporary alimony ends. Okay. Two, rehabilitative alimony is a type of temporary alimony. So the judge may say, well, you're going to receive this alimony until you finish your degree, or you're going to get this alimony for 5 years, whatever. That's rehabilitative alimony. Then we have what we all think about, at least I did, when we hear the word alimony, is permanent alimony. Reality is, although that's the most known or commonly thought of type of alimony, that is the least awarded type of alimony. Okay, so once I talk to you about the different components that will factor in, it will explain why permanent alimony is the least awarded alimony. Of course, there's always this question of how long do I have to be married? Let's just say the longer you are married, the more likelihood, if you qualify, that you will receive alimony, or that more likelihood you will have to pay. Because the longer you're married, the longer you get accustomed to a certain type of lifestyle, right? So what will the courts consider when determining if you will be awarded alimony? Well, one, both incomes will be considered. How much do you make? Because if you're going to be if you're going to be ordered to pay alimony, you have to be able to afford to pay alimony, all right? Keep in mind that alimony is based on what? Need, all right? Financial need. So whether or not an individual can pay alimony, the income of the parties, all right? The health of what's sometimes referred to as the dependent spouse, the spouse that earns little to the least amount of money out of the two. So the health of the dependent spouse. Why is this considered? Well, the courts will look at the the earning potential, the ability to gain employment. If the dependent spouse is sick with, let's say, rheumatoid arthritis, well, it's a good chance that that spouse is not going to be able to find work, all right, that's amenable or complementary to her or his health. So health is considered. Education is also considered. Why? You guessed right. It's tied into the earning potential, employment potential. How employable are you? How competitive are you going to be out on the market? For example, I'm going to use an extreme example, but it's an example. Let's say the dependent spouse, he has a 11th, 12th grade education. He's been out of the market for 15 years. That's going to be taken into consideration. How marketable are you when it comes to education and work experience? That leads me to work experience, okay? Because again, it goes to how marketable are you? Let's say we have a woman who was once a nurse 30 years ago, right? 30 years ago, and she hasn't worked since, she started having children. And upon agreement between she and her spouse, was decided to be the stay-at-home mom. She's been out of the workforce for 30 years. She's now 60. So those will all be considerations when determining spousal support, which is also referred to as spousal maintenance, okay, or alimony. So we talked about the health, standard of living, the ability to pay, income. These are all going to be factors considered by the judge. Now, the concept of spousal support, the idea of it, the future issue can be tackled or determined prior to marriage. Well, how is this so? Well, we have what's called premarital agreements or prenuptials. In a prenuptial, we can say, you can put in there the stipulation, in the event of a divorce, spousal maintenance shall be paid to you for, for every 3 or 5 years that we're married, you shall be paid, $10,000. I'm just throwing a number out there. So as long as it does not defy public policy, meaning it is fair, then a judge is more than likely to uphold the agreement. Okay? So the issue of alimony can be addressed in a prenuptial agreement as long as it is fair. Now, if you're going to be responsible enough to address alimony in a prenuptial agreement, you also have to address how, if and when, alimony will end, under what stipulations. You might say, well, alimony will end upon marriage, remarrying, something in that sort. If you do not set out the stipulations in which alimony will end in your prenuptial agreement, the state will do it for you. There are statutory provisions that are laid out that identifies and determines when your alimony will end. So if you don't do it, the state will do it for you. All right. So in summation, there are three types of alimony. There's temporary, there's rehabilitative, and there's permanent. And the court will consider various factors. They will remember it's not always in the light most favorable to the petitioner, to the person who is seeking, alimony. The court also look at the factors to the person who might be the obligor, the person who's obligated to pay the alimony, whether or not he or she can afford to pay alimony. Now, I do want you to remember this, that alimony is not a respect to gender. Men and women can be awarded alimony. You just have to meet the factors that the judge will consider, the ones that I laid out to you. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Feel free to email me at Ashley at alambertlaw.com. Web address is www.alambertlaw.com. And again, it's always a pleasure. Until next time, like, subscribe, share. Bye now.